afternoon. It's Eden. I decided to jump on the mukbang wagon where you eat, well, a whole lot of food and talk about your day or whatever it is that you're going to be talking about. Well, I'm having spaghetti squash. Anybody that's not aware of what spaghetti squash is, it's a squash. After you cook it, you can fork all the insides out and it looks like spaghetti. Because I cannot eat regular pasta. Some of my other previous video, I had talked about how I lost 80 pounds. Well, as of today, I am down 111 pounds. I feel better. The food that I eat is better for me. Now, I can't eat a whole lot of plant-based lettuce leaves, things like that. But I do want to warn you that this is an animal product. So if eating animal products bothers you, the consumption of it, you may want to turn off this video. I also eat cheese. I eat lots of things that are protein-based. So one of my main things in my diet, though, is fish. But today, fish doesn't taste as great in spaghetti. Maybe the shrimp does, but ultimately, sorry guys, it's either buffalo or cow. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was actually about my weight loss. I'm still losing, slower nowadays than before. I'm going to take a break. It is currently 11:11. I have some tarot reading appointments here in just a little bit, but I do need some food. When I end up doing readings, one of the things that I've noticed, I get very hungry towards the end, or if I have a lot or don't give myself a little bit of time in between the readings to have something to drink or eat, which in my previous video, I think that I mentioned that I can't eat and drink at the same time. I have to wait about an hour. So I had my coffee this morning. I'm supposed to go easy on the coffee, but I have low blood pressure. So drinking coffee wakes me up, helps me with this really weird morning lethargic headaches that I get. So that's one of the things. I hope you all are doing well with all the stuff going on in the world. I was talking to my husband the other day and yesterday about some of the concerns that I've had with the way that the world is headed in general. I don't want to be too boisterous because everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own way of coping. Mine is simply to keep delving into my work. I've picked up a lot of readings, a lot of helping people here and there. That's kind of what I really think my calling is. I didn't have this scripted. This is kind of a spare of the moment because I had a little bit of time before my next appointment. And it seemed like a pretty good way to kill the time. Since I'm just going to be sitting here in silence anyways, I might as well talk to you guys. So one of the things about the weight loss that I've experienced, at first it was very hard to eat anything that wasn't liquid based. I had to puree everything. I had to eat a lot of puddings and jello, and anything that I had to stick it in a blender. So I went to the doctor a couple days ago, and a lot of the problems that I had been experiencing are completely gone since my weight loss. I might see if I can put up a picture of my progress on my little my little doggy here. He hurt his butt yesterday. He hasn't been out and about. I think he jumped off the couch or the bed wrong or something, and he sprained his left butt cheek. So it's good to see him out. Come here. He enjoys my cooking. The cat does too. Although she doesn't like the spaghetti squash. But when I make my meals with the chickpea pasta that I get, she does like that. She really likes that. So, like Garfield, I guess. But anyways, losing weight. I've noticed that I'm able to actually eat a little bit more food. This is more than 4 ounces. And it may take me a little bit of time to do it. But I've definitely stayed away from a lot of breads and pastas, a lot of heavy sugary things. Every once in a while I may want like a small cup of banana pudding or something along those lines because, you know, after all, I still am human and I've never really craved sugar in general. I kind of always gravitated more of a hearty food. Something that'll stick to your ribs. Everything else just kind of moves away from me, or I don't feel as great because I get a crash, whatever we call it. Well, sugar crash. I don't know what you want to call it. So, sorry if this isn't the best mukbang, but it is what it is. I can only eat so much, and I can only eat so much at the same time. I can only so much. Swallow. I'm not. I get sick. I think he's feeling better. Someone's at the door. It's probably Amazon. Let's go take a look. Okay. It's actually the idiot FedEx driver who decided to throw my stuff for my shop into the back door where I live instead of taking it to the front. So my dog is justified. Ugh. Okay. Whew. Don't even get me started. You can see me back there struggling. The FedEx guy decided to drop off a couple 100 pounds. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I hiccup. I make some really weird noises, so I apologize ahead of time. He decided to throw my order in the back here where I live. My shop is actually right in front of the camera, right where you're sitting. And that's where the deliveries are supposed to go. But apparently FedEx actually never reads their comments. I actually hate FedEx. I hate using their services. Some of the places that I order from, though, they only use FedEx, or they have, what it is you have an account with them and they'll give you discounts if you're some kind of a business. But this dude didn't even really knock. He just threw the stuff in front of the door, and I couldn't even hardly open the door because he had the boxes in front of the door. Pretty sad. Pretty sad, FedEx. FedEx, if you ever watch this, you really need to change some policies and maybe train your people a little bit better. Because, you know, with all this weight, I spent almost $100 on shipping. So if you have like $800 worth of items, because I do have a brick and mortar store, it's gonna be heavy. That really grinds my gears. And the thing I have trouble with is stupidity. I really hate dealing with bad customer service. FedEx has always been terrible. We actually had a private delivery from FedEx. My husband has converted our house, a lot of it to solar. We're still working on some of the panels and stuff like that, but we have an inverter, all kinds of stuff for solar. Maybe I'll take you out in the shop and show you. But FedEx did not deliver, because there's 6 batteries and they're pretty heavy. The inverter is very heavy too. It's like 150 pounds or 200 pounds or something like that. And FedEx kept going in circles. They didn't want to deliver the items. They didn't want to deliver our stuff for us. So they kept driving it around with the truck and kept saying, attempted delivery, attempted delivery. I'm always home. Someone is always here. Because not only do I have the shop, but when I'm actually not here or my husband and I decide to go somewhere, my mother comes and she brings her dogs and she babysits my animals too. So there's always someone here. Even if I'm not here, someone's here. And FedEx kept saying, oh, no one home, attempted delivery, attempted this, No, there was no attempt. I watched them drive by. Not only that, I have a big camera system that shows the whole outside of the perimeter and the shop. No FedEx. No. Our UPS guy is great. Our mailman, I love our mailman. When he's not around, I have trouble sometimes with the United States Postal Service. But my mailman, great. He's actually a Navy veteran as well. Same age as my uncle, who happened to be in the military. My uncle was military police. And I believe they served around the same time in the Gulf War, which was in the early 90s, probably 91 and up. So, deep respect, deep love for our veterans. Love you guys. Thank you. We're free for now. So this is turning more into a vlog because I have lots of stuff. Oh well. At least I don't have carpet I have to scooch this from. Oh, there's Ren. Come here, Ren. You want to say hi? Come here. He looks like he's feeling better. This is Oren. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't look at the cameras very well. The cat does. The cat looks at the camera. But he's really good. I can even set my plate down anywhere and he won't eat off the plate or anything, so that's always appreciative. Now, standing on the floor and barking at me because he wants something is going to be completely different than not eating off the plate. Everybody wondering, he's a Chihuahua. Maybe I'll do a story on him sometime. We found him in the trash. My mom found him in the trash. So that could be a fun story to talk about. It's not very long, but there's some woo-woo aspects in it. So, well, you know, you can hear him eating. He decided to participate in this mukbang too. My appointment's in like 15 minutes, so video shouldn't be too much longer. Besides, this gave me a lot of work to do anyways. So maybe I'll take you along and we can stock some shelves and you guys can do my order with me. I'll show you some things I do to keep my shelves full, especially during this, if I ever decide to push my YouTube channel a little bit more. I really don't want to get monetized for saying certain words because, you know, the man. I'm going to try to keep my political opinions and things out of these videos, but yeah, we'll just leave that there. I have a couple more new decks that I'm going to be reviewing. I have a couple more Kickstarters as well that should be coming in very shortly. I'm hoping a lot of them are on time. I actually backed the Tarot Oracle. If you don't know his channel, it's just called Tarot Oracle. He does some free readings and stuff. And he's really good. He's one of my favorite readers. And I really enjoy his style, how he can do this really neat interface with his like programs and stuff. He's like a computer guy. So he'll have like all these really cool little pop-up screens, like the people that do the streaming and whatnot, which I can do on my big computer, but I don't really have a video. Only thing I ever really did on my big computer, I do a lot of online gaming, so I can do it on that rig, but not with my phone, and it's easier for me to just upload videos as I go so that you guys can get them in a timely manner. I know if I start going down the rabbit hole of heavy editing, sorry, piece of parsley, too thick. If I go through that rabbit hole of starting to edit, it'll probably take me days and days and days to get videos out. And to be honest with you, I really don't have that kind of time between the store and taking care of a house and being married. I just don't have time for that. So some of the ones I'll edit. Thinking about offering my tarot course online. I normally do it in person, which is a pretty good, which I've had a pretty good response with. But with all this stuff happening and all the isolating and the social distancing and stuff that we're supposed to be doing, I think it might be a little bit easier for me to just put it online so people can kind of learn as they go, and if they have questions, they can just send me questions and I can answer them with it. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I may do an experiment and a short discount rate for anybody who wants to experiment with that and try it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if you can hear the dog eating. Which I'm glad. I had to give him a baby aspirin yesterday. Well, my husband did. He's actually a critical care paramedic, and he does the flight stuff. Like, he'll do an air ambulance. So it's pretty neat. Every time the dog needs pills or whatever, I'm normally have him helping me because he can, like, without the dog fighting too much. My dog's pretty good with doing stuff I want him to anyway, so not a whole lot of arguing from him that way. The cat, on the other hand, make sure she's not listening. She's a little bit of a fighter. I've given her a couple baths since we've had her. The dog actually picked her out. Because we live in town. So in town, there's a lot of houses, people leave the garbage out. So garbage day. And being in Florida, the heat gets extremely brutal here. But it's hot and trash gets really stinky. So you have to put it in a bin. But sometimes people like to leave it outside. Like some of the neighbors and stuff. We get these big rats. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a Florida cockroach, or palmetto as they call them. It's a cockroach. Some of them are like this big. Yeah. If you don't know what a palmetto is, Google it. You can saddle them up and ride them to work. So what I want to say is we got the cat because we wanted to make sure we didn't get any rats, because I do have the herbs and stuff in the shop and people like to use them in their teas. And if I find any rat droppings or anything like that, I will have to throw out all my herbs, because that wouldn't be ethical to sell somebody if there was a rat and, oh yeah, I got all these nice herbs, but you know, have them, even though there's a rat in them. Now you can't do that. So we got the cat and I let her kind of go and do as she wants. She uses the dog door. She comes in and out. Perfectly safe. Our backyard is fenced in. I'm sure she could get out if she really wanted, but it's too hot for her out there, she'll go out for a few moments with the dog, and then she's finished. She comes right back in. And she runs the shop most of the time. Even though not everybody likes animals in a store, but you know, most witchy shops have an animal in it anyway, so it's not really that unusual for it to happen. So we let her go in there. She catches lizards a lot. We have a lot of lizards here. Like geckos, chameleons. You'll see iguanas sometimes. Mostly people that have released iguanas, or maybe they come in from come over from Mexico, because they're right on the Gulf of Mexico. So if we do have them in their wild, probably come on a ship. So. Oh, the dog wants more skitty. Apparently it was a hit with him. I'll give him another piece. Come here. Good boy. He's so little you can't see him if I had a big dog. My husband used to have like a black lab mix. Real big. We had to put him down last year because he had cancer. I was just getting worse. We had a mass removed on his face, on his lip. I took him. It's like a $700 procedure, between $500 and $700. I had it removed, and the vet basically kind of said it may extend a couple of years with him, and it did. We had him for a few more years, had him about like 4 more years, and then it grew back. So apparently it was malignant. I could smell it. I worked in the lab, so cancer has a very distinct smell. So once you remove a mass, or somebody has a certain type of cancer, like colon cancer, lung cancer, you can kind of smell it once it gets to a certain stage. Just like an animal can smell it. And I cut it out. I could smell it in his breath and stuff like that. So it was a hard thing. We had to put down my other Chihuahua too. He was almost 19 years old. At the time, he was an old guy too. His name was Taco. My husband's dog, his name is Brosco. Very good dog. But I know the husband misses him a lot. I'm going to try not to talk about him personally too much because I know it bothers my husband. Because we did have to put him down, and he was somewhat still there, but the cancer was to the point where sometimes he would check out. He'd sit there and just stare at you, and then he'd pee. So I think he was having some like kind of seizure, or you know, he'd just check out, and then he'd be back, and his mouth was bleeding all over the place. It was just, he was starting to suffer, so it was time. It's definitely one of the harder decisions and parts about being a pet owner, is to decide when the time is. Now Taco was pretty bad himself. He was 19 that year. We had to let Brosco go a couple months before Taco, and then we put Taco down New Year's Day, so that was pretty rough. I found a lot of people in the family because he'd been around for almost 20 years. He couldn't see, couldn't hear, lost a lot of weight. He was probably 2 pounds. And he was always a mini Chihuahua anyways. He was like a teacup, whatever they call him. Smaller than this little guy. He's like 7 pounds. Taco had always been like 6 pounds. So when he lost all that weight, he lost 4 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but to a little dog, 4 pounds is a lot. And he couldn't get up to go to the bathroom one time. He was going to the bathroom in his bed. I picked him up, he cried. If you didn't hold him, he cried. He just cried all the time. I held on to him a little bit too long, longer than I should have. But any time is the right time when you're the pet owner, you have to kind of make that decision for yourself. And it's rough. Which, very morbid. Let's go ahead and move on. Oh, I think it's a good idea too. He's normally not a beggar, but I think he's starting to feel a little bit better. He's kind of barked at a delivery man. Wanting all this stuff. So I'm glad. I have quite a bit of spaghetti squash left from the other day. I have left over. I think that's what the husband's gonna have tonight. He doesn't even know yet. He's working a 12-hour day today. He's on the ambulance. He's not flying today. So I'm in the middle of summer in Florida right now. Even though it's like 90-something degrees. With the sun, direct sun and humidity, it feels like over 100. So he's gonna have to work in that, dealing with patients. And he works in a bigger city. He works near Tampa, Clearwater Beach, so it's gonna be nice sneezing, get my attention. So that's gonna be a pretty busy day today, I'm sure. Plus it's Saturday. It is Saturday, August 1st, 2020. For anybody who cares. So, and my appointment's gonna be here in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna have to cut off this video. Get myself a drink, which I drink Diet Ocean Spray cranberry juice. Maybe get him a little more breakfast. Seems a little hungry still. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Maybe later today we'll go through the order and check some things out. It was nice seeing you guys again and doing a quick catch up. Hopefully you enjoyed the mukbang. My eating doesn't gross you out, talking with my mouth full. Bye.